Hello. Noah recently conducted his rebuttal video. In that video, he explains why the advantages of ending the war on drugs outweigh my argument, which is to continue the war on drugs. He starts out his rebuttal video by explaining that cartel leaders should not be put into private prisons, rather be put into rehabilitation centers. This is cartel leaders we're talking about. These are men that are responsible for the drugs that continue to be imported, not just in the United States, but around the world. Um, these men are responsible for the violence that sweeps through Latin America and even into the United States um, because of their involvement in the drug trade. Under these men's leadership, many lives have been lost, and a lot of innocent civilians have been put into life-threatening events and dangers. Um, with these leaders being sentenced and put into Latin American prisons, it has been known for them to bribe and intimidate prison guards and eventually escape these prisons. For them to be put into private prisons in the United States, it would be very unlikely for them to be able to bribe prison personnel and to escape a United States prison. Um, I don't believe, nor do I believe a majority of people would agree with the fact that putting cartel leaders into rehabilitation centers would be a good idea. Um, I believe many of them would agree with putting them into private United States prisons. Although I agree with your argument that the incarceration rate in the United States is extremely high, putting extremely dangerous cartel leaders into rehabilitation centers rather than prisons is a tremendously bad idea. So another solid point Noah continues to bring up is the discrimination of minorities due to the war on drugs. As I said before, I do agree that discrimination of minorities in America is a troubling concern and needs to be evaluated and taken care of. But ending the war is a drastic step that doesn't need to be taken. As I stated before, there is a tactic called community policing where police are more involved in the community. For example, meeting with organization leaders, listening to what they have to say about the community and ways to help. And pretty much the police just has an open ear to the community as to ways to help rather than just in a lawful presence, and overall build a better relationship between minority communities and police rather than the negative publicity police get in those communities. Um, Overall, the war on drugs main target is Latin America, and in Latin America, um, majority of the populace is minorities. So there is no minority discrimination in Latin America. Um, so overall, this tactic of community policing will solve the problem in America without ending the war in Latin America. So overall, my final point is that Noah doesn't seem to give a valid solution or plan on ending the war on drugs. To me, it sounds as though he just wants America to pull right out of Latin America and to decriminalize all drugs. As I stated before, you have to take into account the tremendous amount of money America puts into the fight of addiction and abuse of legal substances like prescription drugs and alcohol. I feel that majority of the populace knows the warnings and the health dangers of becoming addicted to these substances, but we continue to have those who fall under the addiction of prescription drugs and alcohol. To decriminalize all drugs would be absurd. Just imagine in America where all drugs are easily obtained with little consequences. The millions of people that could fall under addiction and abuse of these drugs, and just the tremendous amount of money America would have to spend in fighting addiction, and the money they'd have to put in getting these people the proper help to fight addiction. Um, I know that the war on drugs has been viewed as a failure and has been viewed as a waste of money, but this isn't a fight won overnight. There will be the failures and there will be hiccups, but over time, the corrections that need to be made will be corrected, and um, over time, it will come to where the war on drugs in Latin America will be viewed as a success. You have to take into account the drugs that we have been able to keep from being imported into America and around the world, and the drug cartel leaders that we have been able to bring down in the process. Thank you.